I'm just curious, like, what do you know what makes certain people have certain people come through, like loved ones? Is like if you don't get someone that comes through, does that mean that everybody who's passed is not around or too busy or?
That's when y'all, if y'all ever have me in a private gallery, y'all hear me talk about this a lot. Spirit, sometimes there's some people who need a message, and spirit relates to us. I found that anybody that I read, I have a personal connection. And what I mean by that is my mother and their mother died the same way. Or they have a relative name the same as mine. There's some kind of spirit, that's how they use me. They find something that I can connect with, and they grab onto me and say, oh no, I'm next. So it doesn't mean that everybody has loved ones that want to talk to them. But sometimes it's the connection that we have with them. I read for Donna and her sister, and I think 7 came through in an hour. She worked me like a dog. No. 7 came through in an hour, so it was. But we must have had some kind of connection because it's not always that strong. A lot of it is the connection, and it depends on the relationship with the medium with spirit. Because all we are, as John Holland, when I stayed with him, said, we're nothing but a tube. They give us information, they show us things, and we deliver it to you. If it wasn't for you and them, we could not work. And anybody could learn this. But it's getting into that right brain. It's getting out of that left brain and moving into that right brain where you can see and you can visualize what's happening. Any other, that kind of answer your question?
Yeah.
Yes.
My question is, in what way did this present itself to you that it was acceptable by you? Like, how long did it take? Was it 3 times? Did it take
It's still not acceptable.
Well,
Because,
well, in the way of that you...
It really took me probably, how I got broken into mediumship. Now, I've been reading tarot cards since the age of 13. And I've always talked to spirit, but I never knew the connection. And then when I had a friend die out and who was a spiritualist, I learned about the connection and I went and studied, but I went to more of a healing mode. And then one day Denise pulled me at her house and had 8 or 9 people over and sat them around her table, and she had me go read them, and she took the cards away from me and said, now read them. And that's when I learned that I really was speaking to people that have passed, because I read every person at the table and hit them right on. I mean, name dates that they died, name who they were, what they died from, and that's when I realized. And I knew I had some kind of a connection because I read this one lady, I was reading her tarot cards, and not only did I tell this lady that her husband was cheating on her, I told her the lady's name and how to find her. And she was a good client for quite some time, and she's divorced. So, tarot cards don't tell you a name, but it just came from somebody. So that was spirit letting me know she needed to know this. And I told the woman's first name. I told them that it was a secretary. I told them they worked in Shreveport, and how did I know they had an office in Shreveport? So it just came right out. So that was probably kind of my, I've talked to spirit all my life, but for me to really have my aha moment is when she set me up. When she set me up, pretty much.
Couldn't really ignore that, could you?
Now as I study, I'm studying, when I went to England, and many of you heard this, I'm studying physical mediumship, and one of the things that I think that my gift, because I've had it happen twice now already, during physical seances, apports happen. Things come out of nowhere and fall, like things from loved ones. So during one, this actually wasn't a seance, this was I was at work, and I had a pin come in, and if y'all went to the event that Anna Maria and I did, I showed the pin and told people the story, but that apport came in and it said, Santa loves me, and the people I went on this, didn't know I was going on this ghost hunting trip with these people, I ended up with them, and it was a gift to one of them's mother, and her name was Sarah, and one daughter was Laura, and she was mother, and so it meant, and it apported from their house to where I work, and I had a nurse witness the apport fall out of the sky and hit the floor. Came out of nowhere. So last weekend we were sitting at another spiritual shop doing our physical group seance, and I get this text message from Denise over there who says, call me right away. So while we were having our physical seance, a Buddha flew through her house and cracked the concrete of her floor.